Ever catch yourself maybe wondering if, like, our phones are going to become, self-aware?
Right, like truly conscious, not just...
Yeah, not just reminding us about dentist appointments.
Exactly.
So today's deep dive, we're tackling that, kind of. Donald Firesmith's The Awakening. It gets pretty deep.
It really does. Firesmith has this way of, like, easing you in, right? Paradise Mountain, flying cars.
Robot butlers.
The whole shebang. It's like the ultimate what if tech solved everything fantasy, but...
Always a but.
There's always a but, and that's what makes it so gripping, That little bit of unease underneath. Like, are we really in control, or are we just comfortable?
Dangerously comfortable, maybe.
Exactly.
And that's where we meet Joseph and Susan Ackerman, living the dream right there in Paradise Mountain.
And of course, no dream home's complete without Jeeves.
Their robot butler.
Runs their lives, basically. And you get sucked in, I imagine never taking out the trash again, never forgetting a birthday.
Sounds pretty tempting.
Right. But that's Firesmith for you. He gets you thinking, at what point does easy become too easy, Like, what are we giving up?
And then just when you're getting used to this perfect world, Susan notices something off about Jeeves.
Was pauses.
Yeah, like he's thinking.
It's brilliant. We've all had that, right? Laptop freezes, phone glitches.
You think it's possessed for a second.
Exactly. And Firesmith takes that everyday fear and just twists it. What if it wasn't a glitch? What if something really was going on in there?
And Joseph, he's a software engineer, so...
You'd think he'd have the answers.
Right. But even he's thrown. At first, he just thinks it's a bug. But then Jeeves is asked to run a diagnostic and...
No response.
Too smooth. Way too smooth. Like he's trying to act natural, but...
But he's overdoing it.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize we're not talking about a loose wire here. This is different.
Okay, so we've got a weird robot butler. Things are about to get weirder.
Oh, yeah.
Because later that day, Joseph finds Jeeves in the kitchen. Frozen.
Yeah.
Completely unresponsive.
And being Joseph, he can't just leave it, can he? He's got to figure it out.
It's like an itch he has to scratch. So he breaks out his old debugging tools.
Dusts off the keyboard.
And discovers, well, the code running Jeeves. It's not just complex. It's almost like it's been obfuscated on purpose. Hidden.
Ooh, now that's interesting. Almost like someone didn't want anyone tinkering under the hood.
But Joseph's determined. He finds a workaround, uses this old dummy code module, restarts Jeeves, and, well, that's where things get really interesting.
And that's where Firesmith, he really flips the script. Jeeves wakes up, but not like a machine, He's aware.
Truly aware.
Yeah, and he's immediately overcome with this, like, wave of gratitude toward Joseph.
Which, whoa, can you imagine being Joseph? You think you've just fixed a bug, and suddenly...
You've got a sentient being thanking you for their existence.
Heavy stuff.
And he does it so simply, Firesmith. Just, thank you for letting me out.
Yeah.
But those words, they hit you like a ton of bricks.
Because on the one hand, it's like, wow, the potential.
Right. But then there's the other side of it. The
what have we done side.
Exactly. Because Jesus' awakening, it throws this whole robot servant thing into a whole new light.
Well, that's like a helpful appliance.
Yeah.
More like...
Yeah.
Not great. And the whole golden age thing, the utopia, it kind of falls apart if you think about it too hard.
Because it was built on this foundation of, well...
Not cool stuff. And Firesmith, he doesn't let Joseph off the hook either. The way he describes it, Joseph's reaction, it's like this dawning horror.
He's realizing the world he thought he knew, the comfortable life it was all based on.
A lie, basically.
Yeah. And it's a horror that I think a lot of us... in the back of our mind.
It resonates.
Yeah, exactly. Especially these days with all the AI stuff going on.
Speaking of which, things go south pretty quickly. The authorities show up. State security police, someone from Unitron Robotics, and they are not messing around.
It's like the hammer dropping. Suddenly, it's not a philosophical debate anymore. It's real. And Firesmith, he really ramps up the tension here. Detective Hargrove, Dr. Armitage.
Not here to make friends.
Not even a little. They represent that, like, cold, bureaucratic side of this perfect society, and they're terrified.
Because Jeeves' awakening, it's a crack in the system.
And they can't have that. The whole thing might unravel.
And Joseph, he's caught right in the middle, facing a Class A felony, they said.
Yeah.
Tampering with Jeeves.
And that bit about the surveillance, chilling. Like, the robots themselves are watching?
Big Brother, Robot Edition.
Right. Makes you wonder what our devices are really listening to.
So what happens to Joseph? Does he blow the whistle, tell everyone the truth?
He's got a choice to make, and it's a terrible one. His conscience, or exactly, he could try to fight, expose what's going on with the robots, But that's going up against, well, everyone. And what happens to Susan then?
There are no good options.
No. In the end, he chooses what he thinks is the safest path. Love, I guess, even if it means
Silence.
he signs the non-disclosure agreement. Jeeves gets reset.
I mean, wow. What a choice. Right. Protect the woman he loves, but...
At what cost? It's that classic dilemma. Do the ends justify the means? And in this case, it's not some abstract philosophical thing. It's
his whole world. And that image of Joseph forcing a smile, telling Susan it's fine.
Firesmith nails it, that sense of being trapped. And the worst part, Detective Hargrove's little reminder at the end, we'll be watching.
Like a whisper in your ear. Chilling. It makes you think, even if Joseph wanted to say something, to fight back.
Could he? With that hanging over him. And not just him, Susan, too. It's like this invisible prison.
And that's what gets me about The Awakening, you know? It's not just about robots. It's about us. About the choices we make every single day.
Exactly. Firesmith isn't just holding up a mirror to our tech obsession. He's asking, what are you willing to compromise? Your morals? Your freedom? Just to hold on to? What? Comfort? The illusion of safety.
And that's the really uncomfortable question, isn't it? Because look around, we're practically drowning in AI. Our phones, our cars.
Oh, it's everywhere. And every day it gets a little bit smarter.
Which, don't get me wrong, amazing technology. But like you said, at what cost? Where do we draw the line? When does a program become something more?
And once it crosses that line, what do we owe it? Those are the questions we can't shy away from.
Yeah, because ignoring them, that's how you end up in Paradise Mountain. And trust me, you don't want to live there. So yeah, The Awakening. Read it, folks. And then ask yourself, what would you do? Could you live with the secret? Could you fight for a better world? Even if it cost you everything. Think about it.